I kind of like it when it's a little bit lower stakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been quite the it's been interesting for me to watch all the shows, how people tend to like engage or not engage with them. It's very strange how some shows do uh pick up and some they just don't.
Yeah, I know. And like we just saw that Candy and the Gang didn't get picked up for a second season, which I was sad about because like it was the first season the most amazing show that I've ever seen. No, but I think there was a lot of potential there, and I think that like you kind of need to give. I think I'm glad Family Karma got this space to like really kind of like sink their teeth into the show, settle in because filming a first season of a show isn't easy for everybody. But I think by the second season, a lot of people get used to it. I think that Family Karma is evidence of that. So I kind of wish that Candy and the Gang had gotten another season just for that reason. Like, see what a second season looks like. Would they have been more comfortable? Would they have kind of given more to us? And yeah, I think that it's important for these shows to have enough space to really breathe and kind of settle in.
Yeah, just let's talk about Family Karma a little longer. I just want to make sure that people who are watching get all the information. You got to moderate the BravoCon, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been saying that Family Karma is one of those shows that really deserve to be watched. And honestly, like the two weddings that we're gonna get on this season are just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
I mean,
yeah, yeah. So we had the first wedding in the first couple episodes, and there's a whole other wedding coming, a gay Indian wedding, which I love. And yeah, I think that we've been following Amrit's journey in particular of like kind of coming to terms with sexuality and then coming out, and then like at the end of last season he came out to his grandmother who died pretty close after that, and it's like that was one of the most emotional moments I've like ever seen on reality TV. I think it was incredibly impactful and emotional and affecting, and I think that like I personally feel a little more invested in that relationship just because we've been along for that journey. And Vishal and Risha, like their wedding was amazing, but they've had some tougher times, and then like last season she like handed back her engagement ring. So like I don't think everyone's in their corner on that show necessarily, but it was fun to watch.
yes. And talking, I want to talk one more thing. What is, if you think about it, which will be the Housewife franchise that you think is like the top dog of the franchises? That's your opinion on it.
I think that Beverly Hills is kind of like objectively the most popular and kind of crown jewel right now. But my personal favorite is Potomac, and I think that's the one that has the most, like, it's kind of on the most upward trajectory. I think that it's been a slow burn for people to really catch on to Potomac over the years. I've been sort of an acolyte of Potomac since season one, but because I'm from DC too, so I've wanted to succeed. And I think the pandemic was huge for Potomac. A lot of people binged it and kind of got caught up for season 5 in 2020. But yeah, so I think that Potomac has the most like goodwill around it, and I think that it's kind of on the biggest trajectory. But I think that Beverly Hills, I mean, if you just look at the ratings, even, and just like, if I think about anybody who I know who watches anything on Bravo, they're at least watching Beverly Hills. Like pretty much everybody that I know who watches Bravo watches Beverly Hills, and it's talked about the most, I think, just like for me anecdotally. But I would say Potomac and Beverly Hills for right now.
You mentioned that people watch Potomac on the pandemic. I was like, they binge it, and I'm one of those people. So
Okay.
I totally get, yeah, I totally get your point. I never watched the previous pandemic, and somebody recommended to me like you should watch it, and I agree. The cast checks in every single episode. Like
Yep.
there's no like weak cast member, to be honest.
There's no weak cast members. I think there's a case to be made about everybody. I mean, they've made history by having 4 of the OGs still around after 7 seasons, which is incredible. Nobody else can say that across any Housewives franchise. Yeah, I think that like, and I think that they've all talk about settling into a show. I think that they've all really settled into their roles on the show, and it works. Like Karen and Giselle know that they have kind of one of the best frenemy dynamics in Housewives. I mean, right now it's the best frenemy dynamic that exists. I think Kim and Nene was probably the original of that. But like they know and they play into that, and I love that they do that. I think Giselle plays an amazing kind of producer role sometimes. Like she moves the show forward in a way that's really necessary. I know that's kind of controversial, especially this season. But without Giselle around, like I don't think the show would have that forward momentum all the time. I think that she's really necessary. I think Robin's a good foil for Giselle, and I think that Ashley's a completely open book who's had a messy life the past 7 years, and she's willing to talk about it all, and I think that deserves credit. Like not everybody. If you look at some of the other Housewives franchises, like there's a lot of people who, and I understand it, but like a lot of them who don't want to talk about everything, and she's willing to talk about it. So I think that deserves kudos as well.
I hope that she talks about the whole Luke situation right now.
Oh, I know. It's at least on the reunion, I'm sure Andy will ask about it.
I know. Because like it's getting, I mean, I saw them during BravoCon. I'm pretty sure you saw them also, like the interaction, the dynamic, and I'm all for it. So a lot of people were like, no, I don't like him and all this stuff. But I'm like, who are we to judge that part? We don't know them that deep and that personally to like
people say they don't like Luke.
Yeah, some people were saying that he didn't seem to be the kind of guy to wanted to be in a serious relationship. And I'm like, maybe they're not looking for anything serious.
I don't think Ashley's looking for a serious relationship.
Exactly.
Now.
So like,
I interviewed Ashley at the beginning of this season, and I asked her if she was dating anybody. This is before BravoCon, before Luke, and she said, "No, I'm not there yet. Like I'm still sort of settling. I mean, she's still technically married. She's been separated for like 8 months or something. So she's still kind of like settling into what it's like being single for the first time in a very long time. So I don't think she's looking for a serious relationship either. I think that she's having fun with Luke and seeing where it goes.
I know, and they seem to have fun and be a good match for whatever stage in their life they are right now.
I agree.
Do you see that TikTok that she posted recently, and people were like going all like Nancy Drew trying to figure out if that was Luke's apartment? Somebody actually pointed out that it was his
apartment. Yeah, I saw that. That was amazing.
I mean, that is so fun. Like, I want her to talk about it, and I'm sure that she's going to talk about it because, like I said, she's an open book.
I think she's totally going to talk about it. She was talking about it, like in her panel at BravoCon on Sunday morning. She was alluding to stuff. So she knows how to play the game. You know, she knows how to drop hints and things like that. So I think she knows people are. When she recorded their TikTok from Luke's apartment, she knew that people were going to connect that.
Oh yeah, people were going to like look and find all the little pieces and and figure it out.
It's part of the fun. I think it's part of the fun for everybody.
Yeah, and Ashley and Candiace, that's another topic on Potomac this season that seems to be explosive. What's your take on it? I know there was a lot of going back and forth about Michael Darby and about Chris, and you know they had that really heavy fight on the last episode. What's your take on it?
I think that Ashley and Candiace just like aren't really meant to get along. I think that the trailer, a lot of people kind of had wishful thinking about just like that one moment of them kind of having a moment of bonding and laughing together. But I think as we've seen in past seasons, like that was just never gonna last. Like they just kind of butt heads, even though they have like a lot in common on paper. I don't know. I just don't think that like they are meant to really get along. And I think that their dynamic is good TV because it's going to be explosive, like you said. I don't know, and I see both sides that are arguing to what their fight is right now. I don't know. It's a toughie. It's a toughie.
Yeah, and I like them both. And that's the crazy part. Potomac is one of those franchises where you don't have to necessarily be rooting for one team versus the other one.
I agree with that.
You can like them all and still feel like okay, you can see both sides of the coin because it moved the show. Like unlike Beverly Hills, last season was so exhausting watching them like having these like two teams and like in the fights online. I was like, I just want it to be over and let's move on to a different city because I'm done with it.
I was ready for it to be over, but also sad that it was over. Like I went back and forth, but ultimately, like I enjoy watching it because again, so many people are tapped into Beverly Hills in a different way. I think, so I think it was fun. It was like there was always good discussion to have from Beverly Hills, and I appreciated that about it. But yeah, I think with Potomac, it's like it's sort of like New York, where like they can have these explosive fights or they can have arguments and then be fine, and not be fine, but they can like have conversations the next morning and over coffee and like start all over again the next day. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of they're willing to move forward because they recognize that they're on a show that needs to move forward. And I think that they recognize that almost better than any current cast. Like they really know how to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, and they know how to check like complete clock every single episode. I love a cast that every single person put their weight on
Yeah.
the season, and Potomac has done that. Like I said before, like I didn't watch previously, before the pandemic, and when I was watching, I was like, all these women, every single one of them, in every single season, not just like the main cast that we have right now, like women's in the past, friend of two, they clock in and they are working for their paycheck, and I appreciate that about this.
Yeah, I mean, even Charisse is clocking in this season. Yeah, I just watched that they released one of those clips that they put out before the episodes. I'm like, her and Karen has a great dynamic. Like I know that Charisse isn't like super popular with everybody, and like I don't necessarily need her around, but I think to have her as like somebody that Karen can go to bat with, I think that like it's kind of compelling TV. Like I think that they don't like each other, and it's kind of when two housewives like kind of just like deep down just like can't stand each other, and they're kind of competitive in the way that Karen and Charisse are, it's gonna make for good TV. Like I think that whatever happens in Miami at this dinner, like I'm excited to see what that looks like.
I know that Miami dinner that is coming. I'm like shook.
I know.
I cannot wait to see what leads to it. Why Mia tosses her glass at Wendy. There is even a purse slammed to her face at one moment.
No, that looks like it crosses a line, but also like we just saw the clip in the preview, so who knows? It could be misleading. I don't know. Like, but I if it's what it looks like, it's a lot. It looks like a little too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big fan of physical altercation myself, like in general.
Of course.
So
yeah,
so when I see it like on TV, I'm always like, ooh, like I don't want to. I mean, I kind of lost my support. Even if you are, I don't know I know the argument is over the Patricia, because I call Peter Patricia because he's more involved in the women's business than anybody else. But the whole Peter thing with the restaurant, I know that that's the topic of the fight. But even if Mia is right, the whole physical part kind of takes away any support that I can give her.
Yeah, I know what you're saying for sure. Yeah, Patricia, like you just have to laugh honestly at this point. It's like, why are you still around?
No, I mean Patricia has been more involved in the drama than in every single like appearance that he's been, and I'm happy to like always look back at Nene and remember that scene where she called him out and she told him to just stick to the fellas and hang out with the fellas.
Business, exactly. Yeah. Iconic, honestly.
I always said everything leads to Bravo somehow, and this is one of those moments like it just take you back, and it's the perfect crossover.
Absolutely.
Talking about crossovers, if you were to take any housewife from any city to let's play Beverly Hills, because that's like the one that is trying to recast or have a cast shake of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to cast any lady from a different city, either present or past, for Beverly Hills, who you think it would be like the perfect to bring into the mix?
Who had not been on Beverly Hills previously?
Who has not been present? Yeah, from a different city.
That's a good question. I don't know if Cynthia would really work on Beverly Hills, like, which is what that first initial rumor that's been dispelled was. Like I love Cynthia. I just don't know if that's like the right franchise for her. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't. My gut is that like that's sort of like we all love Cynthia, but I don't know if she would really work there. Same with Heather Dubrow, who like is apparently moving to LA. I don't know if she could like. I don't know if she wants to get as like dramatic and sort of down in the dirt sometimes that Beverly Hills does. Like I don't know if she wants to go. I don't think that she really wants to go that route anymore. Like I think that she seems a little bit over it. So I don't know about her either. I'm kind of thinking out loud here, but did you have somebody in mind? I'm trying to think.
Well, I actually I have not thought about it before, but if I want to take somebody from a different city that comes to mind right now,
Mhm.
I will say even Luann go to into
Beverly Hills.
yeah, because she has that like kind of like class and that like, kind of like air of class that she always like, because she was a
Mhm.
contest and all this stuff, but she also likes to get down and dirty, and she had like the musical career, so it kind of
Yeah.
like goes with like Erica that's how I
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
like trying to like put it together.
I think that somebody from Miami could work on Beverly
Oh,
Hills because they
love
have
them.
the glitz and the riches in my on Miami. Like I think like Lisa Hochstein could honestly work on Beverly Hills. Like I think that she can hold her own in an argument over a dinner table, but also she has like the money and the fashion and all that to back it up, and to like kind of meet them where they are. So I could see her working on Beverly Hills at some. I mean, like that could probably work.
I actually I agree.
Kind of random, but I like that. Now that I'm
No,
thinking about it.
honestly, that was a great cast. I love Miami. I'm
Oh,
so
I love
excited to meet
Miami's
that.
one of my favorites right now too, for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's another one that every single cast member just clocks in and get their paycheck because they deserve it.
Even the friends of like there's almost too many. Like I love the amount of women on the show, but like there's so many women that are game and down and like and good at it down in Miami that like they can't even make them all they can't make them all full-time housewives. Like Adriana and Marisol, I don't think are full-time again, but like they're amazing. They're amazing on the show. And like I even love Kiki. Like Kiki's amazing. I think she's a great she's a really funny friend of. So it's a great cast.
You just said like even Adriana and Marisol, they weren't cast member last season,
I
and
know.
they brought the same amount of drama to the
Oh
show.
yeah, they were like if they hadn't been around even like I'm not sure if there would have been that as much drama. Like they're willing to say what everyone else is too scared to. So they're necessary.
I'm still salty, and I hope Andy one day listen to this. Please have Adriana perform Feel the Rush at the Legends
Yes.
Ball, because
Yeah,
I was hoping and
that would have
praying
been amazing. You're right. Yeah.
to
I
hear
mean,
that.
there's like 4 or 5 other people that could have added to that medley, but
I
um
agree.
that
I
was
would have I
out
would
of
have removed one person, but I don't want to be that shady. Um,
who do you want to remove?
I, I'm not a big Melissa fan.
Okay.
you
To
know,
each, to each his own. I love Melissa, but to each his own.
no, yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of that song though. That's
Oh my
I
god,
was
I
I
think
was,
it's hard.
I
I
was
love
thinking
you
about the
disrespect.
performance wise. I'm like, I would have preferred to have Adriana over Melissa just for that.
Okay. I
But
see it, I see it, but I think that I mean, she was working the stage, Melissa. I
she
think
was,
she
she
closed the
was,
show.
she was, and I was when I was like, I love musical events. Like I love concerts, Broadway shows. There's music, I'm there. So even like I said before, I don't like that song. Even at that point, I was having a great time because the energy that she was bringing to the stage, it was great. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. She has it in her to be the performer, I think. You know what I mean?
yes, yes,
I like her play, but Sheena was fun. Kenya was working it. Candace was amazing. Like, I mean, Drive Back is like objectively kind of like the best Housewives song ever, I
yeah,
think. But it's kind of like a different playing field, honestly. But it was fun. But they could have had Luann out there. I guess she performed last time at
yeah.
BravoCon. Same with what's her face, Kim Zolciak, but she wasn't at BravoCon, so whatever.
She wasn't a BravoCon. The shade. It is true though. She
I
was
mean, she
not there.
wasn't. Nobody tried to get canceled, baby. Like, you know.
I love it. No, I mean, there are so many great. I mean, they're not Grammy winner songs, but they are so catchy
Oh yeah,
that
they're camp. They're amazing.
it's
Like,
so camp.
yeah. Hmm.
And I'm just looking forward to see who is gonna be the musical performer for the next year, because
Oh yeah.
that
Maybe Adriana will be next year. Maybe they're saving her. Maybe they're whetting our appetites, and you're gonna start the fan petition to have her perform at BravoCon next year. So
you hear
I
it here first. You hear there first. I'm starting a petition that we're gonna send to Andy.
I mean, she's one of the biggest, like, and I say this so, and she's a diva. Like she loves, I love her. I talked to her on the, there was a red carpet in the press room there during BravoCon, and she was doing it with Julia. They were like holding hands the whole time, and I spoke to them. They're just, she's great. I love her.
Yeah, she. I actually I saw her. I saw her interview on your show on We Should Talk.
Yes.
Was she wearing sunglasses outside the whole entire time?
She was literally by the pool, dog in her arm, sunglasses on. I think that was the first time anybody's ever taken an interview with me outside. Which, hey, if Adriana can take an interview with me in any location, outfit, vibe, I'll take it. You know,
I love it.
I want to, yeah, exactly. I meet people where they are, so I'd love to have her be poolside, and it was amazing. She's an iconic person.
Yeah, just let them be who they are, and that's the best way to connect with people. Let them be who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
And they bring the energy to the table, and that's how everything works. You know.
Yeah, and she knows what she's doing. She loves it. She knows what we want.
I remember when she at the Legends Ball. I was sitting at the end of the on the whole on the where they were walking
on the aisle.
The aisle.
Yeah.
I was at the end of the aisle, and she was standing next to me. You know, so I said I started talking to her, and you can tell like she loved like the attention. Like she was wearing this like fur thin shawl on the side. She was petting it.
She was going to the Oscars, baby. She was.
Oh yeah. That was her moment, and she was living for the moment.
Yes, yeah, and I think it was cool for Adriana, for Alexia, for some of the Miami women who were around over 10 years ago, and then now they're back and they're at BravoCon. Like I think for them it's almost like extra special because they've been pulled away from like the excitement of everything for so long. So people recognize them from back in the day too. And like, they love them now, but like, I think for them, it was honestly extra cool to be like back in this and kind of feeling that like renewed love for them. Like same with how Family Karma was more new, but for the Miami women who had been there since season 1, like I thought it was cool for them. Like, it's like Adriana, like she's done it. Like she knows the game, but like for her to see what Bravo has become in their time off is, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, because they were not around for 2019's BravoCon.
No, Miami had not been brought back yet.
Yeah,
Peacock didn't exist, I don't think. So I'm happy that they got to experience that too.
Yeah, it honestly, I was so happy when he got picked up again.
Me too.
And the fact that he did so great, it made me so happy.
Yeah, I mean that the season. What was that? Season 5? Was that season 5? Season 4? No, season 4.
Four.
I'm sorry, Friday brain. Season 4 of Miami is like one of my favorite seasons in recent memory of Housewives. Like I think that it's kind of it's a very much a top-notch season.
I mean, Alexia had like 20 storylines in just like one episode. Not even the whole season in one episode.
Yeah, no, she is a legend. She's legend status to me. I love her so much. Sharing
Bravo memories, like BravoCon memories, like I got to speak to her in Spanish, which to me was like
that's
amazing.
so awesome. I love that.
You know, like I usually don't speak Spanish to anybody outside my mother, so she was standing next to me, and my way to get her attention
was to speak Spanish.
Speaking Spanish, and she turned around almost like immediately, like, and we started talking. We got a picture.
Oh my God, that's so fun.
So that like those are the memories that I love about BravoCon. I mean, you were a moderator for Family Karma when they were gonna premiere the new trailer for the new season.
Yeah,
so that's iconic on its own.
Was fun, yeah. Yeah, and like I've been interviewing so many of these people over Zoom for the past 2.5 years. So like to meet some of the people who I'd only met over Zoom as well was really nice. Like it was sort of like, oh, like you know what I mean? Because for us, we're just this box on a screen. So that was cool. Like some of the people who I've interviewed like multiple times virtually, it was like finally putting a face to the name in person was really special. So it was fun.
And how's the energy? I wanted to ask you this, like you as a host and moderator, I know you've been on Zoom and you do also, on your show on We Should Talk, one-on-one sometimes. And but this time was in front of an audience. I know you did 2019 also,
Yeah.
but it was a much smaller
Yeah.
crowd
Mhm.
event. So I want to know when you stepped on that stage. I want to know how it felt.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a really cool feeling, especially to do it with Family Karma, where like I was unsure like of what because it's again one of those shows that people like say it's underrated and where people don't need to watch it or whatever. Don't sleep on Family Karma. I was unsure about what like how many people would have shown up to our panel or what the vibe was going to be, but it was like such a supportive big audience in that room for Family Karma, which it was so reassuring, I think, to them as a cast. Like, oh, we're onto something. Like, people are really invested in this. And I mean, one thing I did observe about BravoCon in general was like it was a much more diverse crowd this year than 2019, which is amazing. And especially in the Family Karma panel, like there were a lot of people who felt invested in a way that like because it's such a groundbreaking show in terms of representation for Indian Americans, and I felt that, and I felt that in the room, and some of the audience questions reflected that as well. So it kind of had this like more special feeling, I think, than some of the other panels that I went to. And I'm not saying that because I moderated it. It was more just the fact that Family Karma was getting this moment in the spotlight. Was really cool, and like I think that it shows that Bravo really believes in this show, and you could just tell like they wanted it to get as much press as possible, and they wanted it to really succeed because this is I think that this third season is like really a banner year for them, and I think they all know it, so they need people to be watching it to recognize that and to like kind of the word of mouth to continue to be so positive.
And you said that it reflects also how diverse Bravo has
Yeah,
become, at least in the
totally.
last few years,
Mhm.
and the fact that like watching the wedding and the way that they were all the cultural process,
Oh,
not
yeah.
just the wedding because it's beautiful, but the process of getting to that point.
Mhm. I've learned so much. I've learned so much from the first two episodes of this season about because I've never been to an Indian wedding, and I want to go to one. It looks so fun, but like there's so many different kind of things, traditions, and things that they do, and customs that they do as part of the marriage process. That's cool, and I didn't know about half this stuff. So it's I like to learn on top of watching the drama, obviously.
That's
But
right.
yeah, it's a good combo.
And people shouldn't be sleeping on it because it
Oh,
is truly a fresh breath of air compared
yes, I
to
agree.
all the drama in all the other shows. Yeah, there is drama, but I feel like they don't drag it either. They're family, they're friends.
Yeah.
They know how to resolve it.
Yes, I totally agree. And yeah, it's like, and I mean, some of these people have been friends since they were 3 years old. So it's like you can't make up these dynamics. And like Anisha showing up late to Vishal's wedding, like it's you kind of have to read between the lines and some of it too. But it's fun. I mean, I think Anisha's a huge star. I think that Anisha is like one of the biggest stars on Family Karma. I think she knows what makes good TV at this point. So she's leaning into it, which I appreciate.
I love her mom.
I
Oh,
love oh my gosh, I love her mom too. I love so many of their moms. Like
the
the, aunt,
parents.
the aunties are some of the best people on the show too. They have their own drama. They're shady as I don't know if I can curse on here. They're
Go
really
ahead, let it out.
they're really shady. Like I love them. Like they're and also I love how Bali can kind of go between the two groups. Like she can hang with the aunties and she can hang with the kids, and then she'll like bring the tea back and forth between them. Like it's so good. It's so
So
good.
she's like she is the bridge between the two generations.
She's the bone collector on the Karma for sure.
She is. Oh my god, I
Really.
love her, and she's stunning. All of them are
Oh,
beautiful
yeah,
people. All
gorgeous.
of them.
Seeing them as a group at BravoCon too, like I was like, this is a hot cast. Like
Yes,
everyone is hot. It's so good.
it is so good. Bali. It's I got to see her like maybe like so close, and I was like, you're stunning. Like literally, such a
She's
beautiful
breathtaking.
woman.
Like, yeah, she's gorgeous.
And she dresses like amazing. Like she has a sense of fashion, like
Totally.
insane.
I think she was actually on, I didn't go to this one, but she was on the like Project Runway fashion panel, I think.
Yeah,
Like, alongside like Dorit and some of like the Paige DeSorbo, like some of like the fashion girls. So it was fun to see.
yeah. I cannot wait for BravoCon 2023. It's gonna be amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so fun. It's heaven.
Gibson, anything that you want to share with us before we go? I mean, I have you for almost 45 minutes. So I don't want to Hollywood for
Yeah,
too long.
I don't know. I mean, like, is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we signed off?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would like to know. I know you mentioned it before, but since with the audio situation and stuff, I want to make sure that this is. I want you to talk about your journey as a host and how you got to this point before we go.
Yeah. So I have been at first I worked in like entertainment news and I was writing a lot, and that's when I started doing interviews and just writing them up as articles, and then it's evolved into what it is now. Yeah, so I've been interviewing celebrities for like 7 years, and I'd say like 4 or 5 years ago I really leaned into the Bravo of it all. Because I just found that it was working and I really love it. And I've been watching Bravo since like Housewives premiered, but I leaned into it for like professionally then, and because I've found that the community online on Twitter, which I hope never goes away. I hope that I mean like I love being a part of that and sharing my interviews there and talking to people there. And I don't know. I think there's some really smart, awesome, funny people that are part of that Bravo Twitter community. And so I wanted to sort of, I don't know, I like hearing people's responses to my interviews and hearing what they think. And it's kind of just like a kind of two-way street there for me. And yeah, it's been with We Should Talk. It's fun. I try to kind of sometimes book unexpected people, but also book the people that people want to hear from in the moment. So like some the shows that are on right now or the shows that are coming up, like I'm working on getting some of the Miami women on for around the premiere. So yeah, I like to do a mix of people, but I try to have like I've gotten to a point where I just like to have conversations with these people. It's not really Q&A in my mind. It's how can I guide this conversation to get to the topics that we want to talk about, but ultimately just like have it be I don't know, just like
Little chat.
yeah, it's a chat in my mind. And I don't know. That's how I sort of. And I'm not. My style of delivery is not super polished. I didn't go to journalism school. Like I don't have like the journalist voice. And um, I hope and I think that sort of sets me apart in that way. Like I sort of just I'm off the cuff in those settings. And I don't know. I have fun doing it. So I hope that people like watching them, listening to them.
Honestly, I mean, since I have you here, I want to say like you are amazing in what you do,
Oh,
and
thank you.
I did not know you didn't have like a journalist like professional. I mean, training background like a college or anything in that.
Oh yeah, no,
I did not know that, and honestly, like your style resonate with me because I prefer to watch people having a conversation and really connecting and getting to know each other, like because it creates more like it brings you in as a viewer than
yeah.
having somebody asking Q&A questions like
Yeah. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you recognize that and appreciate that because that's what I go for. So I just hope to continue doing it and at some point grow it even more. But it's been fun. Like it's these are our the Real Housewives are some of our like our movie stars. Like we love them. We worship them. We love them.
yes,
So there are soap stars. Like we've been invested in some of their lives for over 10 years. So it's like I don't know. I'm sure as you do as well. Like you feel a connection to them that's sort of like kind of hard to explain.
yes. Especially we saw their kids like grow in our TVs.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
literally, we
God.
seen them grow up
I mean,
on.
I'm always so shocked. Like Gia, it's like if you think about how where we've gotten with Gia, it's like she's like out of college now, or I think she's still in college, but she's like 22. Like
Yeah,
it's wild. It's wild.
it's crazy. We
Yeah.
saw kids being born on national
Yes,
TV. We've seen
literally.
it all. We've seen people
Yeah.
go to jail, come back from jail, and come back stronger. We have seen it all because
Yeah,
we
we
love
have.
them.
Like Luann said, I've been to jail. Remember I was like, "What's up?" She's like, "Well, I've been to jail." Oh my god, what a time. Yeah, but
I know.
I mean, I want what I want Roni legacy. I'm like, I need that. I'm craving
Yeah.
Sonia. We have Sonia and Luann spinoff, which I think will be fun. I don't think it's going to be like super high stakes or anything, but I think it's going to kind of scratch that itch of seeing them back on our TV. But I need them all back together. I do.
I do have a question for you before I let you go because this is important. You mentioned Ronnie. I know
Yeah.
we have Legacy and we have the new cast cast of
Yeah.
the new Ronnie. So I want to know how you feel about this decision of Bravo, because there's a lot of controversy around it, and I would like to know your opinion.
Yeah, I'm really supportive of the idea. Like when they first announced, when they took the break and then they came back and they're like, okay, we're gonna do the reboot and then we're gonna do Legacy. I thought it was a really good idea. It's like it's basically two for the price of one. Like
Thank you.
why not give us two shows? Like Legacy is not gonna feel any different. I don't think it's gonna feel any different from a regular Housewives show. It's just gonna be women that we haven't seen on TV for a while, but like it's gonna be a lot of our favorites, not all of them. It's gonna be a lot of them. It's gonna have that feel that we know and love. And then they're basically giving us a whole new Housewives franchise that happens to be in the same city. So like, why not take that? My biggest qualm with it is just that I think that they should have led with Legacy. I think that like if they had announced Legacy, if they had told us who's going to be on it, everyone would have been appeased. It's like, okay, we're getting Sonia back, we're getting Luann back, we're getting Dorinda back. Everyone's happy. And then you announce the reboot, and it's like, oh, we have 6 more women who we can be excited about. But because they did the reboot first before confirming who's going to be on Legacy, I think it's kind of like put out this ill will towards the reboot that's sort of undeserved. But I understand why people feel a certain way, for sure. I don't feel the same way because we know that both are coming, but I think they kind of got it. I think the order should have been switched in how they announced it, just to sort of appease the fans. But I'm supportive of the idea. I'm excited for both of them genuinely, and I wish that I hope people come around to the reboot. Because again, it's just like it's like the same way that we got Dubai, it's the same way we got Salt Lake in the past couple of years. It's new. It's a new franchise. Like it's new people to get invested in, and like I'm not going to argue with that, to be honest. So
thank you.
that's my monologue about Roni.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you think this way, because that's how I feel too. 100%, like everything you said just now, that's exactly how I feel. I'm happy because it's 2 Bravo shows. It's 2 Ronnies that we're getting. Yes, Legacy should have been announced first because a lot of fans are upset about, the timing or whatever. But hey, we're getting 2 shows. What is to complain about when it's 2 shows?
Of it, I really am not. Like, and the new cast is intriguing to me. It's I mean, Jenna Lyons is really unexpected to me, and so I'm curious to see how she would be. It's a diverse cast. We have people in different boroughs, Manhattan, uptown, downtown. It's exciting, and they're not all influencers. Like they're I think that was a big concern, that it was going to be like a bunch of influencer people, and it's not only that. So like, it's a pretty nice variety of people, and like they all seem pretty glamorous, which is what we want. And I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm curious. That's why I'm
here for it.
I'm intrigued. Yeah.
Well, totally. I'm so happy that we got to talk about that topic, because that was one of those controversial questions that I wanted to ask, because it's here, it's now, and it's happening. It's in production. It's been
exactly like if people don't want to watch, they don't need to watch. Like I'll be watching, and
I'll be part of that. Like probably like 100,000 people are gonna watch it. Like,
exactly.
People watch it, and trust me, as soon as it airs and people start seeing how interesting these women are, people are gonna come around and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give it a chance."
I agree with you. I hope that's right. I hope that's right. I think they deserve a chance. Like, why not? Why not give it a shot?
That's right. Okay, Gibson. So thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for having me. This is any excuse to shoot the shit about Bravo. Like, anytime.
This door is open for you to come here and talk about Bravo whenever you want. I'm 100% sure that we're gonna be doing this again, because now that we talk about Ronnie, I feel like me and you are gonna have this conversation when Ronnie starts too. So
I'd love, invite me back when we have more about the reboot, and
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna spill more tea about it.
Yes, of course. I love that. Well, thank you for having me. So this is so fun.
Yeah, it was really fun, and thank you for coming on. And you are, like I said, like an inspiration to me when it comes to like interviewing and paving the way to podcasters. So I appreciate you very much.
Oh my God, thank you so much. That means a lot. But if people listening, if you want to check out my interviews, it's called We Should Talk. Anywhere you get your podcasts, it's on YouTube. And you can follow me right here. My handle's right here on Twitter. Hopefully that continues. Who knows?
Let's hope.
And I just launched a newsletter. It's gibsonoma.substack.com. Go read and subscribe there. Yeah, but this has been so fun. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Gibson. So I will see you next time, and take care.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, guys, that was it. That was our interview with Gibson Johns. And stick around for more interviews and more podcasts here, Martini with Eddie. If you love this podcast, go and subscribe and smash the subscribe button. We got our Twitter, we got our YouTube channel, we got our Instagram. So stick around for more tea. Okay, basically, that's all for today. Bye, besties.